How Rafael Devers get picked off already? What's going
Yes,
on down in Sports Talk? We are in the building. You know the vibes. It's 8:15. We are here. I am here. All right. I am left-handed at RM Desk on Twitter. Get at me. My code D is in the building. Yada Bear. You know the vibes. And we here to rock out tonight. A lot of stuff to get into. And we appreciate y'all rocking out. The like and subscribe button is right there for you to smash it. Hit it,
smash
rub it
it.
down, however you do. Make sure you do that. And we are here, man. We in the building. So, yeah, we was talking behind the scenes. World Baseball Classic is going on right now as we speak. The
Yes.
first four, the NCAA tournament is going on. March Madness, we are in the building. March Madness is going on right now. Of course, the NBA, NHL, free agency in football. All right, the WNBA, stuff to talk about in that with that involved. But we're gonna set the show off tonight with my code D. We're gonna put it on live on stage and make it happen. I know she got some things she wants to discuss and chop up
Um,
and talk about with the people. Them.
well, folks, we know what's going on right now. NFL free agency has been going bananas all day, today, yesterday. Um, we see that the purge is happening with my Eagles, which is expected. When you have a team like that, going to the Super Bowl, having the dominant years, especially on the defensive side, of course teams want to, pick at it, and players want to get paid. I'm not angry with players who want to get paid by any means. Get your money. I'm okay with that. But, we took a big hit fast, and I just need all of my Eagles fans out there to just calm down, relax. It's okay because we were deep on the defensive line. And I'm just going to throw some names out here just to give you guys a little reinsurance. Okay, so yes, we lost Hargrave. You know, Javon Hargrave, we lost him. But guess who we had backing him up? Milton Williams. Okay, the rotation. He just now start. He just going to step into the starting lineup now. Um, we lost Marcus Epps to the Raiders. I understand. I get that. But that's why we have Reed Blankenship, you know, as his backup, who now going to slide into the starting rotation, who slid in when CJ Garner got hurt. As soon as he came in the game, he secured an interception, and we wasn't really hurting on that end until CJ got back. So it's okay with that. The next guy, TJ Edwards. Yes, tackling machine. I understand all of that. I get it. It's okay because we had a guy that we drafted last year in the Kobe Dean who's going to slide right into that space. It was going to happen eventually that we was expecting the Kobe to be able to step up and secure that starting linebacker spot. And last and not least, Andre Diller on my offensive line. Yes, he left. But guess what? We still have Jack Driscoll, who was in the offensive line rotation, who has started a couple of games also. So we will be fine. Shout out to Howie for making the deal with keeping James Bradbury for 3 years. Now, um, we also signed Rashard Penny, which means we're going to lose Miles. It was expected. Miles actually ran his way out of Philly by not showing up in the Super Bowl. We saw the writing on the wall of how he was playing in that game.
He must have saw it too because he already set the much
Oh,
love the Philly thing out. You know
yes,
what I mean?
yeah. Once he saw the signing of Rashard Penny, he knew he was out the door, and he shouldn't have that feeling after we lost the Super Bowl too. So the main focus for us right now is to try to get a deal with CJ because I believe he's extremely important to my Eagles defense. I need him re-signed back with the Eagles. Um, much love to my man Jason Kelsey. who's coming back to fight for
Mm-hmm.
another season, which is extremely important part of our team, not only on the line, but also as a leader in the locker room and the leader of the team. Jason Kelsey is the leader of our team. And that's really about it. I would like to speak on the WBC, the World Baseball Classic. Um, watch a couple of games. Team USA is looking a little shaky out here. You know, the starting pitching, it's very disappointing. You got guys pitching 1.5 to 2 innings, and then we just have the whole bullpen come in to finish out the game. So it's basically a bullpen game. Like we have to score 1,000,000 runs so that we don't have to play deep into these innings because then we will be exposed pitching wise. And when we look at other teams like Japan who have just all-star lineup, we were so focused on the DR and Puerto Rico teams where we kind of overlooked the Japan team. And these guys are just running through their pool. Nobody can touch them. Um, I'm a little, disappointed with the participation of our um, top tier pitchers. Now I understand, when those guys they don't want to come in, they don't want to throw out their arm or put too many pitches on their arm before the season start. But as we see, the timeline of this World Baseball Classic is during spring training. And most of our top tier pitchers, like a Zach Wheeler, Swarzer, Clay Shaw, all of them, they don't really pitch in spring training. So why not get a couple innings in the World Baseball Classic? Maybe you can use that as time to prepare for the season. You might want to work on a new pitch, and you can work on it there. But I feel like most people here in the States are not really um, hype about this tournament because there's really no pitching on our side. Like we can have all the bats in the world. It's lovely
So,
to see home runs. We all love home runs. But for the people who really do enjoy the game of baseball, when we're looking at the talent that we have in Major League Baseball and the best that we can get for opening night of the World Baseball Classic as Adam Wainwright,
word.
that's the best we can get. This is the World Baseball Classic. We're playing teams from all over the world, and we're getting their best, and we're not
And they
giving.
trying to win
Yeah,
for real.
for, this right here is so. It's like the Olympics for the NBA. You know
Hmm.
how prideful everyone is. Representing their country during the Olympics. How the World Cup is. Each country. It's every 4 years. They so excited. But then when we look at the we look at the baseball classic, it's like, well, there's no real excitement here in the States as if like in the DR or in Israel or in Great Britain or in, Japan or China, places like that. I just need Major League Baseball to really step it up and truly, truly participate in this. Like be focused, be just be aware, but just be present. Because I just feel like we just got a group of guys that's all hitters and say, hey, you want to go, you know, hit some balls? It's like a bullpen session. Like, oh, let's get some of the best hitters and not worry about getting some of the best pitchers. I,
No,
that's
no doubt. You said it. You said everything. You got these guys. I mean, they won it last year. Okay. I mean, the last time they had the World Baseball Classic. All right. I think it's been 4 years. All right. They were
mhm.
supposed to have it, then the pandemic came and all that. But again, you can't just roll these dudes out here and expect that everybody else is going to lay down. This is what the Dominican, Puerto Ricans, all these teams, they're waiting for this. you
Yeah.
know, and the enthusiasm that and the excitement that they show, they got the United States beat. Okay, they got their bands over there making noise and they're having a great time
Oh, they are living it
because the
up.
world is watching, right? And like you said, Yada, we send a whole bunch of lineups over there. 1 through 9 is great, but when we put somebody out there on that bump, they got to be serious. They got to be just as great as the lineup that we put out there.
Exactly.
And nothing against Adam Wainwright. Salute to him, and salute to Yadier Molina. But Yadier Molina is trying to beat Adam Wainwright right now.
Oh, Yali is trying to
So
destroy
I
him.
think he's the manager of Puerto Rico, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the United States, for as much as we try to make baseball is the All-American game. That's my favorite sport. Don't get it twisted. Though you know me, I'm a baseball head, right? But if you're going out there to defend this thing, and it's the World Baseball Classic, don't get ahead of yourself and talking about this stuff that you want to make sure that you're the best in the world and things of that nature. These other countries got you beat.
Yeah.
These other countries' fans got you beat, and I'm just telling the truth. It just is what it is. So the World Baseball Classic, to me, it seems like it means a lot more to the world than it does to us. And again, the people who love baseball in the United States, they're watching, you know what I mean? But are they participating? Do they have, in their Babe Ruth leagues and their little leagues and stuff like that? So are these youngsters watching this? Or are they watching anime? Right? Or
They
are
might
they
watch
watching?
it anyway.
Are they doing something else? They on TikTok or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, I get it. Major League Baseball got a problem, and I'm gonna use a 25-cent word. It's being exacerbated, right? By these other countries who take this thing more, really way more serious than we do. And again, we already know that cats from Latin America and Caribbean countries, they take baseball way more serious. They're out there 8, 9 years old, barefoot, really no equipment, but they love the game. And to me that's dope, because their aspiration and their hope is to be able to play for their country one day if they can't play in the major leagues.
Yep.
So again, we want to salute everybody, you know what I mean, and definitely we rock with the Baseball Classic. You know what I mean? I mean, other sports shows do what they do, but we rock with the Baseball Classic, and we're here to talk about it right now. As we speak right now, Pool D action is going on. Dominican lead Israel 3-0. All right, so we're looking at that. And shifting gears right quick, we're going to go to the NBA, right? And we're going to talk about that for a little bit. We're in the building. This is Down in Sports Talk, 8 to 9 p.m. every Tuesday night. All right, we rock out. Myself, my co-D out of Bear, we in the building. Let me set this off right quick and talk about my Knicks. When the Knicks were, on that 9-game winning streak, beating, some teams that, we needed to beat, and we showed that we could beat. We beat Boston twice. We beat Miami. We beat Brooklyn. Everybody was going crazy. I said it on the show. That West Coast trip is going to show and prove who the Knicks really are. Okay? We lost 3 in a row. All right? We beat the Lakers Sunday night. Okay? Which was to me a nice win to say that, hey, we have our problems and we have hiccups and things of that nature. But a week and a half ago, when everybody was jumping out the window, I said, okay, now our focus and goal as New York Knicks and New York Knicks fans and supporters is to get to 50 wins and to get game 1 of the playoffs at Madison Square Garden. I'm not so sure that's going to happen now. And everybody who was jumping out the window talking about the Knicks going to do this, the Knicks going to do that, I'm an old head. You see these graves right here? I seen Rory Sparrow, Bernard King, Bill Cartwright, Marvin Webster, rest in peace, Felton Spencer, rest in peace. I seen all of those dudes. Rory Sparrow, Gus Williams, when Hubie Brown had the afro. Don't play with me. So I know how this thing goes with the Knicks. So again, the New Jacks, I call them fresh baby breaths. All right. They don't know anything about, the Knicks having any type of prosperity. They probably wasn't around during, the OJ chasing the white Bronco. If you know, you know. Okay? So these cats don't know nothing about prosperity. They was out there wilding out on 34th Street when the Knicks won the opening game of the season.
Oh wow.
So could you imagine if they win a playoff series, let alone a game, and you know who I'm talking to? Right? So again, at the end of the day, man, just take it for what it's worth. Enjoy the season. Get to the end. That's what I be telling people. My man Julito, all right? My man from Knicks Fan TV. All you cats, I appreciate y'all. Y'all doing what y'all do. Y'all great fans. Y'all very, very exuberant, very excited about the Knicks. But pump your brakes, Playboy. Because it's never been a 68-game season. Unless you're counting the lockouts. And you know what happened in the lockout year, right? The Knicks was in the finals against the Spurs. This is not that. So you missed that. All right? So, again, now we have to, figure this thing out. Look at where we're going to get our position. It's about positioning now. Jalen Brunson is out. You know what I mean? He tried to play on that injured left foot. Now he's got a boot on. So I think, Julius Randle is starting to revert back to the Julius Randle that I know and seen, right? Regular season Julius Randle. When he doesn't get his way, he goes berserk. Harness that energy, man, because again, I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna say it again. You owe us a playoff series.
Well, let's talk about this playoffs. Especially, let's look at the East, since both of our squads in the East. Playoffs start today. We'll be facing each other in the first round. Knicks and the Sixers.
And ladies and gentlemen, the Outer Bear will be on vacation.
And I'll say this right now. Y'all better keep winning games. Y'all better keep winning games because y'all don't want to see us in the first round. That's not gonna look good. It's not gonna look good because the way Joel's playing right now, Maxey, Melton, we are rolling right now. So I don't think the Sixers is the first round team y'all really looking to match up with. So I'm gonna need y'all to keep on winning some games. Move up to that 5th seed because I can't understand how Brooklyn is still holding on to that 5th seed. You guys went on a 9-game winning streak and still behind the starless Brooklyn Nets.
that greasiness does not go ignored. I see you. Go ahead. I see you.
I'm just calling it like it is. I'm just calling it like it is, and the way I see it from this perspective is Knicks got some catching up to do, got some winning to do to avoid a painful first round exit. That trip, up and down 95 is, it's about 2 hours. It's not that it's not that long. You don't want those problems in the first round. But these playoffs this year is going to be ridiculous, and that's just speaking on the West alone. We were so hyped and excited that KD got traded to the Suns.
Right. That's right.
He played with 3 games. Oh, KD is back.
Back on the injured list.
Guy. I said, I even said in my mouth, he's a plug-in play guy. You can plug this guy in on any team, and he'll still give you the same production, 27, 7, and like 4 or something like that. Same. His stack line would stay the same until his ankle. Until he twisted that ankle. He is his body's very fragile. It's like him and AD. It's like KD, AD. These abbreviated names are not working out for these guys. I think they need to go back to calling themselves Kevin and Anthony. Because
Hold on 1 second. On that right there. You said the abbreviated names are not working. I think they are working because they play abbreviated seasons.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, finish your thought. I just want to throw
But
that in there.
it's just crazy how he just came back,
Mm-hmm.
from an
Mm-hmm.
injury that they had been him out. They had him out for months. He get traded to a team that's in the hunt of the playoffs, who's a win now team.
Right.
First home game on his new
Mm-hmm.
team, warming up, going for a layup, come down, twist his ankle. He in the boot.
On the wet floor.
On fire whoever's supposed to be mopping up that spot. I'm pretty sure
Absolutely.
that guy got fired immediately. Why is that spot wet? Now Phoenix playoff career is up in the rim right now too, because we all seen the show with Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and Ayton. Chris Paul is like 40 right now, and he's playing like he's 50.
Mm.
Devin Booker, to me, again, is a fake superstar. You think that he's a superstar because he's putting up all these points. Oh, he had a 30-point game, a 40-point game. He might even drop a 50-point. Or he might have
Crazy
back to
numbers,
back
right?
33, 35, back to back. But guess what's happening in those games? They are losing these games. They are losing. And then Aiden, they don't even look to Aiden anymore. He's just there to grab rebounds and just be a rim protector. They don't even call no plays for this guy anymore. And then we look at Chris Paul. Chris Paul is old now, and he plays an
Mm-hmm.
old game. Okay, you see how all these other teams is up and down the court. Chris Paul still plays that same half court offense, and how I said before about the Mavs, where the team is confused on how they want to play fast or slow. I kind of starting to see that with Phoenix because Chris Paul like to slow the game down. Devin, he could be a run and gun type of player out there, and everybody else just
That's just sports in the
fall.
building.
That just fall to the wayside, and everyone's watching. So this injury to KD, it really put a setback for the Phoenix Suns. Also the injuries with the Mavericks. Luka's hurt, Kyrie's hurt. Nobody plays defense on the Mavs anyway, so them making a big playoff push was kind of unlikely to me because you got to play defense. You're not going to score 135, 140 points in the playoffs like that. You're not putting up those type of points. And then when we look at the other team, the Clippers, who brought in Russell Westbrook for what reason, I don't know. This guy doesn't fit on any team. Like the Clippers just look they just look bad with Westbrook on the floor with them. They don't even look like a threatening team, and make it look like. And then it also looks like Kawhi is working extra hard, out there playing because he's watching Westbrook turn the ball over 8 times, 9 times. The same story that he had with the Lakers. Same city, different team, same story.
Mm.
And then we look at, you know, the up and comers, the Sacramento Kings, who offensively, again, are an exciting team. Run and gun, shoot 'em up type of team. But guess what else they don't do? They don't play defense. Again, you're not going to be scoring 140 points in the playoffs. That beam may not be shining too bright in the playoffs. They still young. I feel like they need better defense. And then
Go ahead.
you have Denver. Everybody's favorite. Oh, Joker going to win the MVP for the third time. Who cares now? Because he's been the MVP for the past 2 seasons. For the past 2 seasons, they went nowhere in the playoffs. So how important are you? How viable are you really that you can even get your team to the next stage of the postseason? And I say all this to say at the end that all of these teams are just keeping the door open for the Warriors. Now,
Mm-mm.
I get it. Wiggins has been out, for personal reasons the whole season. It's crazy. They're not really talking about like what's going on with him, and I get it. It's personal. He don't need to spread his business around. But there's also reports stating that he may be back for the playoffs, and if that happens, that's going to be a problem for the rest of the West. And then when we look at the bottom of the category, we look at the bottom of all these teams, it's the Lakers that they just they keep being in the play in, being out the play in. Every other game, when they lose, they're back at 11th seed. When they win, they're back at ninth. So it's like, are they going to be able to get in the play in to give LeBron a chance to get in the playoffs to try
You
to
brought up
solidify
LeBron. You brought up
his
LeBron.
career?
Perfect segue. You brought up LeBron.
Yeah.
He's one of the guys in the Western Conference that, look at the guy, you could make an all-star lineup of the people who aren't playing. John Morant, LeBron James, right? Kevin Durant, right? And you mentioned, a couple of guys that, are playing, but are they really there? Russell Westbrook, you know what I mean? So again, and this is the stretch run. This is supposed to be the most exciting part of the NBA season right here.
Mm-hmm.
The stretch run when you got like maybe 10 to 12 games left. Every game is crucial. Everybody's battling. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I'm gonna definitely get back to those comments that you made about my Knicks. But keep it in the West. Keep it in the West. I mean, again, at the end of the day, Mike Brown is either going to have these Sacramento Kings ready to make a nice run to the Western Conference Finals, or they're going to learn about playoff basketball in the first round. I think right now they're the team that people kind of don't want to play because, again, like you said, they're inexperienced, right? But their coach is crazy experienced. So if he could just, kind of get Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox and those guys to say, okay, the lights are going to be brighter, the rotation is going to be shorter. I need y'all to, make this thing happen. And again, when you pile up those teams in the West, like you said, Phoenix don't know what's going on. Denver is shook. Memphis is shook. Golden State is waiting. You know what I mean? They're in the bushes. They're waiting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Lakers, they're kind of like, you don't know what team you're going to get from one day to the next. Like you said, one day they're 11th, the next day they're 9th. Laker fans are, jumping out the window, coming back in from the window. It's a whole bunch of things going on.
They got 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
1 foot in, 1 foot out. The Dallas Mavericks, again, they're in flux. They don't know whether they want to run it up and down the court or walk it up and down the court. So again, it's all, and Luka, he's hurt too. So again, you can make a playoff roster and a playoff team out of just the guys who are hurt in the West.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But back to the Eastern Conference. My buddy, old pal over here, Yada Bear, was talking really crazy about my New York Knicks. And you know what? She's basically right. So again, when you going into a playoff series, presuming like right now, like she said, if the season were to end today, we would be at the Wells Fargo for game 1, right? And I think going into this, we don't know what we have, but the Sixers know what they have, right? Who are we really going to depend on, right? I don't want to really depend on Julius Randle. I don't want to really see Jalen Brunson sitting on the bench with a boot on.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Tom Thibodeau do his thing. He, again, like I said, and I stand on it. I'm not no flip floppy dude. When the Knicks get right, when they're really a solid top 2-3 team in the East, Thibodeau's not going to be the coach. And again, I like what he's done, but I think he's been forced to do that. Okay, listen to these young cats. Let these young cats get some burn. Mm-hmm. Jalen Brunson's been the MVP of the season. Julius Randle has not. And what I mean by that, it's not that he's having a bad season. It's just that he's not the leader of the team to me. He wants to be the leader of the team. But when it's crunch time, he made a buzzer beater. Was in Miami. That's cool. That's what you're supposed to do, right? But at the end of the day, you don't give an example to the referee of pushing the guy off, or if the guy's leaning on you. That's contacting the ref, B.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta think better than that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm not, going into this playoff thing just thinking about, oh, we're gonna do work, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. We gotta figure out where we want to be first. Right now, we're sixth. Okay, we're 3 games out of the fourth spot behind Cleveland. All right. We're right there with Brooklyn. All right,
Mm-hmm.
for the fifth spot. But again, at the end of the day, what are we going to do? Are we going to play Cleveland? We're going to play Brooklyn? What are we going to do? Because recently as last week, I was hoping that we can get a 4 seed and get a home court advantage for the first round. That's going to be out the window. Unless these cats can go like 10-2 in the last 12 games, and we know that's not going to happen. So again, the magic number for me was 50. We're 40-30 right now with 12 games left. You do the math. So again, that's where we are with it. You know what I'm saying? This is down at In Sports Talk. We are in the building Tuesday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. And we having some fun with it. We do what we do. We're going to get back to this free agency thing a little bit in the NFL before we get to the NCAA tournament. And I'm going to definitely fill in my brackets live right here on the air. You know what I mean? And make it do what it do. Dominican 3, Israel nothing, top of the 5th World Baseball Classic. Yeah, NFL, free agency is definitely not free. As we saw in the last few days, a lot of player movement, which happens every year. Yada talked about her Eagles and the moves that were made. And I think that goes back to, the front office situation where, hey, if you lose somebody, you got somebody else to step right in and plug in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
Our Buccaneers, we still don't have a quarterback. No disrespect to Kyle Trask, but no, we don't have a quarterback.
They're about to get Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, man. No. Baker Mayfield.
They're about to get
You know what I'm saying?
Baker.
Like, what is we doing? Like, that's hustling backwards, Joe. That's really hustling
real backwards.
I'm gonna tell you my thing like this. I think that all the movement that we've had, we had to let some people go. You know what I mean? To create some roster cap space, and I think that we got a splash coming. I'm gonna say that as a Buccaneers fan. I don't know who, but I think we got a splash coming because we're not rebuilding. We're not looking at 5-12. We're not looking at that next year. We're not looking at 5-12, yo. Real talk. I mean, again, coming off that Brady thing. And again, some people said that, we're going to, hit rock bottom before we come back up. I don't think so. I mean, again, New Orleans signing Derek Carr. So what? Carolina signed, who they just signed today?
Didn't they sign Andy Dalton?
Andy Dalton. They got Andy Dalton, yo.
Yeah, I mean they got Andy, but y'all still
they gave Jameis Winston $8 million for a year. Yeah. So again, that and who else do they got in New Orleans? Quarterback.
Well, they still have the white boy.
Taysom Hill. They got Taysom Hill. They got Jameis Winston. Hill. They got Andy Dalton. I think they got somebody else.
No. Andy Dalton gone. Andy Dalton. So now is
Andy Dalton's gone. So they got Taysom Hill. They got Jameis Hill. Derek Carr. Yep. But they think they got somebody else still, or they got rid of Dalton. That's right. So Dalton's out of here. So they got 3. That quarterback room is still gonna be crazy. You got Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill, who's not really a quarterback like that, and Derek Carr. We already know Derek Carr is a starter. They have already anointed him the king of the South.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And Carolina, they signed Sam Darnold. Like that's what's the full, impress.
No. Carolina signed Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold went to the 49ers.
Sam Darnold went to the Niners? I thought he went to Carolina.
Nah. 49ers signed Darnold.
All right. Sam Darnold went to the 49ers. So they got Sam Darnold, Trey Lance, Garoppolo is going to the Raiders, and they got somebody else.
They got Brock Purdy. That's because they signed him. They signed Sam Darnold for security because you don't know what Brock Purdy going to be when he come back, and you don't know what Trey Lance going to be at all.
So your option is going to be Sam Darnold. Good luck with that.
The option is going to be Sam Darnold because, again, they feel like they can just plug anybody in that position. And they kind of prove that they can by plugging in Brock Purdy, and they went to the NFC Championship game. It didn't work out for him at the
Right.
end, but
Yeah.
but he was a big part of them at the end of their regular season run and in the playoffs. So Kyle Shanahan feels like he could just plug anybody in there and still be successful. And right now, he hasn't been proven wrong. Truthfully, you want to,
Hmm.
look at it that way. Um, but the two big stories of this free agency is one, of course, Aaron Rodgers and
Oh
his
man.
and his list of demands. You know, at the beginning of the all season, I was all for the Jets signing him. But now that I look at it more and more, is it really worth it now? He just sent out a list of demands saying that he would like the Jets to sign Randall Cobb.
And Alan Lazard.
Well, they signed Alan
Yeah, they got Alan
Lazard.
Lazard already.
He also wanted them to sign Mercedes Lewis. Oh, and then just throw in Odell also. Like the Jets don't
So what
have
does that?
their
So what
own
does that mean? What
receiving
does that mean
core.
for? What does that mean for like Garrett Wilson?
Exactly. Like they don't have Garrett Wilson and Corey Davis there, who they have good seasons with terrible quarterbacks with the Jets. So now it's now becoming more of a hassle, you know, and he still hasn't given them any type of answer.
Right.
No
No
type of
indication
answer
at
at
all.
all. He's holding all the cards. He's again holding a team hostage. Not only
Mm-hmm.
he's been holding the Packers hostage, now he's holding the Jets hostage. Well, now the Jets have no other option but to sign this guy, or it'd be a fail off season because they let Derek Carr
Oh.
walk, they let
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy G walk.
Mm-hmm.
Now all the other backups, the Andy Dalton, Sam Darnold, all those, low next level guys have been signed. Even your backup, Mike White, has been signed to
By
another
Miami.
team. Yeah.
Miami Dolphins.
So now you either stick with the guy that you gave up on last season, because y'all gave up on him,
And you
or
drafted him, the number one
yeah,
pick.
and you
That's right.
drafted him, yep, and you gave up
Zach
on him.
Wilson.
Clear as day. Everybody saw that you gave up on Zach, or you try to give Aaron Rodgers everything that he wants, and then at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers may just turn around and say, "You know what? I'm going to retire." Wouldn't that be something? He just turned around and said,
Well,
"You know what?
you might be able to get on the horn with Lamar Jackson's agent, Lamar Jackson, and see see what kind of situation you could work out then, because you're gonna have to do something. They got to do something now.
You got to. They're
You got
back.
to.
The back is against the wall. So even and then I even mentioned the fact that if you do get the trade for Aaron Rodgers, what are you giving up for this guy? Because now
That's the question.
the
Right.
Packers, they don't care, because in their mind, Aaron Rodgers is not going to be on their squad.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the Packers are done with Aaron Rodgers, and they
Mm-hmm.
hit Jordan Love is the starter. We're going to get a backup. Aaron Rodgers
Mm-hmm.
is not going to be in the Green Bay Packers uniform come the beginning of the NFL season. That's what's in the Packers' mind. They're already done with that. Now, look at the Jets. The Jets, like I said, got their back against the wall. The Packers, they could fleece them because they are desperate. They need a quarterback, and they're doing everything that this guy wants. I want to know what's going to be on his list next. He want a McFlurry machine in the locker room.
Oh.
He want them to sign, get Megatron from out of retirement so that he can sign them to.
Mm.
Who else?
They want to bring Ronnie Lott back.
He want to bring he want to bring Ronnie Lott back on defense. He want to call
Mm-hmm.
Charles Woodson and say, hey, don't you want to come back and play defense? I know they got a young guy named Sauce over there, but
Yeah, sauces. Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
I like him better. I like Charles better. So I need y'all to sign Charles. It's like, Aaron,
Mm.
we have a team that's already fit for you. We have a ready-made team with a bunch of young, talented guys. But you want me to call Randall Cobb? You want me to
Right,
call
right,
Mercedes Lewis?
right.
You want
That's
me to
right.
give Odell Beckham? He want about 20 mil a year. You want me to call this guy who been out of football for almost 2 seasons? You want me to call him back? Like, come on, Aaron.
Yeah,
It's out of hand.
it's crazy. And then what's going to happen? And we're going to we're going to change gears. What's going to happen is that everybody's going to go crazy when he does sign, and they're going to go crazier if he don't sign.
Yes.
So again, this is another episode of Batman. You know what I mean? Same, same jet time, same jet channel. Tune
Yep.
in. We ain't gonna have nothing else for you, but will he or won't he? That's the only thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We're gonna switch gears a little bit.
Oh.
This past week we saw the press conference, New York City, Times Square, salute, L.A. or Tank Davis, Javante Tank Davis, and I'm not calling this dude King, Ryan Garcia. But on top of that, Manny Pacquiao is coming back. For what? I don't know. But we'll get into that later. Like we're gonna get into Lawrence Fishburne playing Doc Rivers. That's really crazy. But we'll talk about that later. Um, Tank and Ryan Garcia. Who you got, Yada?
Oh, I got my man Tank all day. I got Tank finishing in this guy. We already seen Ryan go down. We know he got glass in his jaw. We already seen that. And I love the press conference. I love when the press conference gets spicy like that. They both talking. They both talking. They ish to each other. Tank stay talking. Ryan stay talking. I love the whole vibe of it. I'm hoping for a great fight, but I'm looking for Tank to put Ryan down. I'm waiting for it because everybody that I have been talking to, they're like, oh well, um, I feel like Ryan going to put Tank down. I'm like, well, when have you seen Tank go down? Like I seen Tank take some punches, you know. I seen Tank, get the business dealt to him, but he ate it and then still finished the guy off. Like I said, I seen Ryan go down. And then Ryan got up and he finished the job, but he still went down and he went down conventionally. It was just like, ooh, that shot. But I'm taking Tank. This is the type of fights that we are looking forward to watching, I can't wait to see this. Two guys at the top of their game, undefeated, two titans just colliding right now. Like I didn't want to see this fight 10 years from now when they're both old and washed. Right now in their prime. I just don't understand why other boxers just can't get off their high horse and just give us the fight that we deserve instead of giving us trash that we got to pay for.
Mm.
But who you got?
It's Tank all day. And I want to kind of get through the press conferences, and then I want to give a little analysis of what of the fight. Press conference number one in Times Square. Salute the homie. All right, salute. I ain't gonna say nothing else. Salute. Tank was, on CPT time. Absolutely.
I think he did
But
that on
again,
purpose.
yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, he just wanted to make a point and say, look, I'm the A side of this. No matter what you say, no matter what Oscar De La Hoya or Bernard Hopkins or none of them dudes say, I'm the A side. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Garcia, I don't know if he's trying to be the calm guy or talk about, he's a professional. He was there on time. And so that's what you're supposed to do. Absolutely. I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
But what I don't respect is how you let that man put his hand all in your face and clip your chin. He clipped your chin on both. He clipped your chin on both coasts. He did it at Times Square and he did it in L.A. He clipped your chin.
That's
okay.
Like
so
is that Tank new thing? It's just weird, right? It just
and again at the end of the day, I think Tank got in his head. I'm liking, what Tank's trainer was saying. He was like, "Yo, this is what it's about right here. This fight right here is going to set off the whole, next generation of boxing fans
Yes.
and all of that.
Yes.
The fact of the matter that we have to get the promoters and the networks and all that out of the way, so let these dudes handle their business. But again,
Yep.
that's the nature of the beast. That's where we are right now. But again, at the end of the day, the Times Square press conference, I think Tank, proved this point. He did what he did. He made them wait. They damn sure waited. Okay. And Ryan was using a lot of ifs, a lot of we'll sees, a lot of ifs. And Tank was, just kind of like in his quiet confidence, like he is in all his fights. But until it got spicy at the end, then Tank was like, okay, this is where we at with it. Okay, bung bung. And then they have to stare down. All right. And then Tank, the left hand, shout out, left hand, the left hand is the best hand, if you don't know. Put it right in that man's face. And
he does
clip
it all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
Like,
and the LA press conference, you see Ryan Garcia up in the balcony, at the hotel, waiting to see, he got to make sure that Tank, touchdown and all that nonsense right there.
Yeah.
He comes out, and says, "Oh, you got a purse." I mean, what that got to do with it? You know what I'm saying? Let that man do what he do.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it got spicy again. But guess what happened? Tank put his hand up in that man's face. And this time, I think he really did clip him.
I think he did.
Right?
I think he did.
So, to the fight, I'm looking at, Ryan Garcia with the height and the reach and things of that nature. We've already seen Luke Campbell put Ryan Garcia down. Tank went down in the fight, but that was a slip, so we don't even count that. At the end of the day, I think that I sent Tank a tweet saying you're gonna get this guy out of here in 4 rounds.
Okay.
Because again, at the end of the day, Tank can, and I'm gonna say this: Tank can't afford to start slow in this fight. You can't give up rounds. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You got to start and be wise about how you start. Okay. Again, like you said earlier, we seen Tank, take some punches. I mean, watch the Leo Santa Cruz fight.
Yep.
I told the homie Star, I was like, yo, watch Leo Santa Cruz and Tank fight. Leo Santa Cruz was giving Tank Davis the business.
Yeah, he was landing. He was
giving Tank, and then like Ryan said at the press conference, Leo Santa Cruz was doing work, but then Tank was like, well, what happened at the end? He sent everybody home early, especially Leo Santa Cruz. He put him to sleep in the 6th round. Bang.
Put him
right?
To sleep. Yep.
So again, Raleigh Romero, same thing. The Garcia dude, the Garcia, the same thing. So I'm not really beat about the height and reach advantage, because at the end of the day, Tank uses that to his advantage.
That's a disadvantage on every fight with him. With everybody he fight, he always had a height and reach disadvantage. And like you said, he takes advantage of that disadvantage, and the workaround is he getting right inside and knocking you out.
Right.
I mean, he had Ramirez almost through the ropes.
Yeah. So yep. And really, Leo Santa Cruz, I felt sorry for him.
Yeah.
That was so crazy, because again, he was working. He was
giving him everything. He was giving him
he was working him. And what happened was it got into the corner, right? Tank stepped around, came back, and the rest was, cuckoo. He was Tweety Birdie. He Tweety Birdie that dude.
Around his head.
Absolutely. So that's what that is. We're gonna talk more about that as we get closer to April 22nd. Again, I'm kind of disappointed in B-Hop though, but B-Hop, he got to do what he got to do, work for his man. So I appreciate that.
He got to make that bread, but
he got to do what he got to do, and I ain't mad at that.
Yeah. Let's talk about that second April fight.
Yeah.
Apparently, we're getting 2 fights in April.
The Usyk and the
Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury. Like I really haven't kind of kept up with that. I know the fight is supposed to be signed already. Tyson Fury hasn't shown the usual, how he goes after it. This guy's backing out. They're giving me problems. But it looks like now that Tyson Fury is the one that's kind of like to me, a little hesitant. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just my opinion right there. And it's
Yeah.
a heavyweight championship fight. Um, Usyk is going to do his thing. I think Tyson Fury is really setting himself up for not disappointment, but to be in for a real tough go. I think that
It's
this
one.
Usyk
Yeah.
is coming for it, and Tyson Fury, as great as a defensive fighter that he is, he showed that against Deontay Wilder 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is going to be different. You know what I mean? This is going to be very different. So I don't know if Tyson Fury is really kind of like looking past this guy, and he really just coming out for the money, or is he just coming for the prestige and the title of being the heavyweight champion? And
I
and things can
mean,
not go, things could go different for you, man. Things could go
yeah.
different. Go ahead.
I mean, I feel like he's trying to be the undisputed heavyweight champion because we haven't had one. What, Leonard Lewis was the last undisputed heavyweight champion? I believe, yeah, I
Think
believe it was
so.
Leonard Lewis.
Undisputed.
Yeah, undisputed. So I feel like he's trying to solidify his own legacy before he sits down, and I think being the undisputed champion is probably high on that list. But um, it's going to be a tough task because you check. I mean, this guy,
It's
he
not a
gets
joke.
busy in the ring too.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't no chump like you said, and I think this might be Tyson's toughest task right here. Um,
Mm.
would I be surprised if Tyson wins? No. Would I be surprised if Tyson gets knocked out? No. Because again, we have seen Tyson go down and come back up and win the fight. Like we seen it several times with Wilder. He went down a couple of times. You know, we seen him in trouble when he fight. Joshua. We seen him in trouble and get out of it. So I feel like this could be split down the line. It can go either way, and I wouldn't be shocked. I'm just shocked that we actually get in the fight.
Mm.
Because Tyson was saying he was done. He was done. And then I'm like, well,
Right,
you
right.
didn't
That's
give
right.
us the
That's right.
fight that we needed. And this is
Mm-hmm.
this is the fight that we needed because you can't be done and the belts are still split up. You got majority of the belts and then he got the belt too. Like I need an undisputed champ. So if Tyson goes out on top, I love it. If he goes out flat on his back, hey, I will love it too because at least
Oh.
we have one champ. It can go either way. But I can't not believe that this guy Manny Pacquiao
Yeah.
is returning to
Yeah.
the ring.
Yeah.
Like, isn't he like some type of senator or something like that in his country?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so
Allegedly.
so what? So
Allegedly.
what? How you got time for boxing? How you got time to train? And I wouldn't trust fighting Manny anyway coming back right now
Mm.
because we already
Mm.
know what he's into.
Right.
We know. I know Manny Pass. you know, and we have seen what Manny can do when he all juiced up. And he is not afraid to come back and just be all wrong. So I'm not looking forward to none of that at all. Um, I did hear a rumor that we might get another fight with Lomachenko and what's his name? I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Was it
I
Haney?
know he's getting ready to fight Devin Haney, right?
Yeah, there we go. Devin Haney. There, Lomachenko or Devin Haney. I can't wait to see that fight because I like both of them. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Lomachenko fan. Because my man was out here just putting people down left and right. I like his fighting
Yep.
style. I like how he switch it up in the ring, and I like his showmanship. It's something about someone who have a good showmanship in the ring. It just makes them more interesting and keep you more intrigued and wanting to see him fight more and more. And Lomachenko gives me that. And Devin Haney, he's a beast in his own right also. So I think that's
Right.
going to be a great fight. Again, getting fights during their prime that we would want to see. So I'm hoping Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford have taken note to see what's going on out here. People are actually fighting each other. Who
Yeah, I mean,
the fans want to
and
see?
again, we're gonna see how that goes. We got some miscellaneous stuff that we want to talk about real quick. Shout out to Desmond Howard for holding your corner down. I saw the video. Shout out to you, my dude. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Give them what they deserve.
Yeah,
Straight like that. Talk about this status is higher than his. Like, word. You don't know who that is? And then Desmond Howard was like, yo, I'm with the ish because he showed the dude. He put the camera on the dude, and the dude was trying to pretend like he was asleep.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it was a video on was it American Airlines, a Desmond
yeah,
Howard, University of Michigan standout,
yeah,
NFL dude. He was on a flight where
yep,
listen, how do I say this? A Yakubian
yeah.
was trying to, give him the business about, his getting his seat moved or whatever the case may be. And
Mm-hmm.
Desmond Howard, he was cool. Desmond Howard is like real cool.
Yeah,
But I mean, you can see he was being how you say he was being nice but nasty at the same time.
yeah,
And
yeah,
when the
yeah.
and when the guy was like, well, you just check the statuses. My status is, I'm sure that they always use that. I'm sure that my
Mm-hmm.
status is higher than his. So nah, that's not the case. So
Not at all.
again, Desmond Howard, talk your ish, Playboy. Look forward to seeing you on game day, man, during the college football season. Salute. Um, I'm wondering how that scene is going to work in that movie. What is it? The Sterling Stories or whatever, where Lawrence Fishburne is playing Doc Rivers. How is that scene going to work out when they turn the jerseys inside out? That's the thing. And then who came up with the idea of making a movie about that in the first place?
I have no clue. I was quite surprised when I heard about it. I was like, wait a
Mm-hmm.
minute. I said they made a movie about that, and then like Lawrence Fishburne is playing Doc Rivers.
Yeah,
So who's playing
yeah.
Chris
He got
Paul?
the wild lineup and all that.
Who playing Chris Paul? Who playing DeAndre Jordan?
Right,
Who playing Blake Griffin? Like,
right.
am I going to see the beef between Chris Paul and Doc Rivers?
Mm,
Like, what are you gonna show me? You just gonna show me everything about Donald Sterling? I don't care about that.
right. We don't care about
We don't care about
that.
the.
What I'm saying? Nah. And is it who's playing that Donald Sterling? Al Bundy? That should be crazy.
No, who's gonna play Donald? Like, this is a
You
movie
know,
that I need
who's gonna
to
play
say.
who's gonna play Magic Johnson? I don't want that blankety blank. You mean
Yeah,
that type of thing. So it's gonna be crazy. We just want to throw that out there, man. And it is what it is. If you like the show, man, and you want to support us and what we do, that support offering is right there. $ left-handed. All right, holler at us. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, and if you have some ideas for the show. Shout out to Just Us Sports. My man Kev in the building. Salute to you. Salute to everybody who's following us. We
yes,
rock with y'all. Now is the time of the show where we're gonna get it together. I said I was gonna fill out my NCAA bracket, Final Four bracket live on the air, and I'm gonna do that. Yada is gonna fill out her women's bracket probably next week.
yeah,
Hint hint on the show.
yeah,
Um, but I'm gonna run with the first round. I mean, the first four in the building. You got Texas A&M Corpus Christi playing Southeast Missouri State. That's tonight. Can you get a score check on that one for me, Yada?
yes. The
Texas
game
A.
actually just ended with Texas
Okay.
A&M Corpus Christi winning 75-71, so they are in the tournament.
Okay. Texas A&M Corpus Christi will be playing Alabama.
Yes, they
All right,
will.
in the first round, and then we got another first four game coming up tonight. Is that the Mississippi State and Pittsburgh tonight?
That is correct. 9-10 on True
Okay.
TV. That should be
Okay,
should
that's
be
what it
the game.
is. So the first round again. Let me preface this by saying we talk behind the scenes in the green room, and I was like, yeah, I mean, you got your top four seeds. You got Alabama, you got Purdue, you got Houston, and you got Kansas. I don't think any of those four seeds are going to make it to Final Four weekend. I don't think so at all. And if they do, I'll be surprised. Real talk. This tournament, is going to be kind of like a embodiment of the whole entire season. Okay, Alabama was number one for a while. Houston was number one for a while. Purdue was number one for a while. Kansas was number one for a while. Then you could sprinkle in about 5 other teams. North Carolina started number one before the season started, and they're not even in the tournament. You know what I mean? And again,
a whole nother story.
Yeah, that's a whole different situation. And then they had the unmitigated gall to say, okay, we don't want the NIT. We don't want the CBB.
How disrespectful of them. I was extremely shocked at that and disappointed that just because you didn't make the title, you are too good to be in the NIT. They act like they're the only team that been number one, that won the title, that played in the NIT. Michigan is playing in the NIT this year with no problem at all.
Like and I know, and Jawar Howard is thanking his lucky stars.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But I'm looking at North Carolina. I'm like, you guys wasn't even the best team in your division. Y'all couldn't even win the ACC. So you tell me
you blew a lead. You blew a lead in the championship last year.
Sure did. So you're too good to be in the NIT because you damn sure wasn't good enough to be in the NCAA tournament this year.
Absolutely.
North Carolina. Shame on that program. Shame on them.
Say it again. Say it again, Yada. Say it again.
Shame on them. Shame on that men's basketball team program. Shame.
So again, I'm gonna fill out the brackets. My brackets for the first round. Next week I'll do the second round. Again, we're gonna start off Alabama, and I look at Alabama. I think that they're gonna, they got some other things going on. They got bigger issues, but again, they're acting like it is what it is. So Alabama is gonna beat Texas A&M Corpus Christi, get to the second round. I got West Virginia over Maryland. That's a 12-5. That's a 8-9 matchup. I got the College of Charleston over San Diego State. That's a 12-5 matchup. I got Virginia over Furman. We got a special guest popping up just in time. Here we go. Look at this. Coach Mo Boykins in the building. Salute, Coach. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Hello. Excuse my
welcome. There you go. We've been trying to get at y'all for a long time. I'm gonna have to cut my NCAA brackets filling out situation. We'll get to that. We're going overtime, y'all, because we got a special guest in the building.
Yes.
Coach Mo Boykins. Listen, I saw on Twitter, you guys did your thing. You had a great season. You got that win under your belt after a lot of tough times and stuff like that. But the tough times make tough people tougher. And I want you to explain to your girls' basketball team. Salute to them. And how did it go about? How did the season end? And you got the big smile on your face, so some things must have went down. Talk to us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Sorry, at the end you kind of broke up, so I couldn't hear you. But I just, first and foremost, I'm happy I just logged in because I just came from our we had a travel team tryout. We were just coming from our parent meeting,
okay.
So just got in, and our season went very, very well. We went 9-11 overall. We went 7-1 in our conference. First year back.
Okay.
This is my first year back at Penwood from previous years of coaching, and we won the Del Val. So you were with me through my ups and downs. You heard, a couple of times we had some tough situations with players with regard to grades. That's really important in my program. In my program, we definitely put discipline of academics first, and which is very, very important. And then, we put a lot on our mental health aspect. I tweeted out, we do allow 2 mental health days for our players. And so I set that up in the beginning of the season, and just to share with people quickly, because I think it's very, very important, mental health in student athletes. What I did was that I set up for our student athletes to take a mental health day when they felt as though that they needed one. And how I set it up was I asked student athletes, I said, how many days do you think you need for mental health, and what would be feasible at this time? And they said, Coach, just give us 2 days. So that from that point, what I did was I set a system up where if a student athlete wants to take a mental health day, they have to call in to the coach, and if they have
Mm-hmm.
to physically call in, they can't just send a text message, and they have to
Right.
call in and they have to let us know that they are taking a mental health day. Our coaches ask 2 questions. First question is, where do you see yourself? From a 0 to a 10, on a level of 0 to 10, meaning 10, I just need a break. 0, I need some help.
Mm-hmm.
And then by
Mm.
us hearing that student athlete's voice, we can gauge them of kind of, okay, someone's in trouble, someone may need some help. Then the
Right.
second question is that um, do you need any help? And we have a resource guide that we have that we can refer them to if they do need some help, or would you just like to talk? And those are the 2 questions that we ask. And it's very, very important that we ask those 2 questions, because sometimes some student athletes don't like to elaborate. They don't like to talk a lot. So these are two
Mm.
questions straight to the point. And what I will tell you is it has really, really helped us. And I feel like even with our wins, it has helped us because it takes a little bit ease off the student athlete. They can call in with not a whole lot of questioning. And also it gives us an opportunity to build a relationship. Some kids like to talk about it, some kids don't. But that's something that we've developed, a little mental health I would say system in our program, and it has been very, very successful with our student athletes. And I feel like it's helped us, make it to that next level, to be able to commute with regard to communication with our athletes. So thank you for allowing me the space and the time to really talk about my program. But yeah, it's really good. We're doing very well, and I'm looking forward to next season. You'll see us in playoffs definitely next season.
Oh, coach, oh my God, that's amazing. To hear about that mental health, break that you give your players, that's something that some of these professional organization can definitely should take a look at, as we see it played out in public, with the John Morant situation, and also the craziness that's happening with the Alabama men's basketball team, um, with having focus on not just the players' physical ability, but also keying into their mental state. I think it's a great thing that should be practiced worldwide, because mental health, as you state, is very important, and it also makes you into that excellent all-around player. So definitely salute with that, and I'm pretty sure that your ladies definitely will appreciate that, and hopefully they will take that with them to the next level, college and so forth, wherever they go in life, and use that. So I definitely salute you for looking out and doing that.
Yes. Thank you for commenting on that, because there were a lot of coaches once I had stated that, because I had put a tweet up and I said, I explained what I did, and I said, I want players to know we don't have bad days. It's okay to have a bad moment. We don't have bad days. It's okay to have a bad moment. And I think coaches need to understand that too, because coaches' mental health is very, very important. And I think our players need to be feeling that it's okay to say I need a break, because sometimes they get a lot of anxiety on the fact that I have to call the coach and tell the coach I want to. Who wants to call the coach and be like, listen, coach, I can't make it to practice today. And us as coaches are like, wait, we
Mm.
need you. There's a game. I
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think that this kind of
That's right.
release some stress and really helps. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you say it again.
No, I just said that's right. I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's something that really does relieve some stress with players. And as you're even stating, the Alabama situation, I mean, if you know your players, when they're about to bubble up.
Mm-hmm.
When they're
Mm.
tight, you can just feel it. So I just think,
Absolutely.
I will just make sure, I will just say to coaches, please make sure that you're paying attention to your staff. Make sure you're paying attention to your players and get the opportunity to know them. And give them that feeling where they'll feel bad for taking a day off.
Mm.
I think that's
Mm.
a lot of the problems is they feel bad for taking a day off. So they keep playing with all this built up anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just something we have to definitely work on. But yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much for commenting on that.
Um,
Absolutely. Go ahead. Go ahead, Yada.
I don't know. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Les.
Now I was just gonna ask, like, Coach Mo Boykins is in the building with us. Absolutely. What are your thoughts on this women's Final Four tournament that's about to pop off? And let me say before you give your response, I know for a fact that they're going to treat the women way better than they did last year, and way better than they did the last couple of years. So what are your thoughts? Who you see coming out of this tournament, and what do you see as far as the continuation and as the women's basketball game expands, it gets even bigger and better.
So first and foremost, I got to go with South Carolina. I think that
As you
I think
should.
you know what Coach Yo said it the best though. She said she's loaded. She has a first string, a second string, and even if she wants to add a little piece to a third string, she's got it. Every time Dawn team come out, all you see is their strength, first string strength. I
Mm,
mean, think
mm,
about it.
mm,
You got who can you got first of all you got Leah Boston, right? But then after that
mhm,
you got Cordosa, and Cordosa's game has stepped up tremendously. Okay, I mean, and then not even that, you get correct me, I'm sorry if I say it wrong, and May here, you got her coming too. Like you have three strong, not a center, just a full forwards, and also you can use them as threes if you would like. I just think
mhm,
that it's nobody that can really match up to them. And Coach Yo, she said, when they're playing like that and they're on all tens, I see them winning it again. I do see some teams that will push through. Like for instance, we have a few teams like I want to say Maryland. Maryland's been doing a great job. I'm looking forward to seeing them. I'm looking forward to see how LSU turns things around because I think LSU
mm,
where they struggle is consistency. They'll have a team right there and they just don't know how to put the nails in the coffin. And I think that is something that we have to they have to become a closer team. Also too, I was kind of surprised that Arizona wasn't in. I was very
mm.
surprised about that. But I know Tasha Adair, they'll do coach down there. They'll do a great job. I was looking for them to be in, but I think that they'll do a great job with getting in next year as well. Who else? Let's see that I really think will be some. I'm looking forward to see what Stanford will bring as
Oh
well.
yeah, they got number one. Yeah, they got the number one seed. They're in the same region with Texas and Iowa. That region is going to be crazy. Hmm.
Yeah, that's
Well,
Hmm.
yeah,
that.
and
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and now let me ask you a question. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Do
Hmm.
y'all think Iowa is
All
deep
right.
enough? Do
Um,
y'all?
I think Ira is top heavy. I think they rely so much on Caitlin Clark, where now it's them watching her. I have noticed when I watch some of their games that a lot of the players are so busy watching her because she does a lot of spectacular things and make a lot of great and tough shots that they're too busy being spectators and not getting involved, which also hinders her because it makes her have to work harder. So she's basically like playing 1 on 5 sometimes. I do agree with you about LSU. I really like Angel Reese, but I do also think that she needs to focus more. She's really like into making like the big play, to have the big celebration, things like that. Sometimes you just need to slow it down and just go down to X's and O's. Like she's a beast on the low post. Every play doesn't have to be sports center worthy, it doesn't have to be spectacular. And that's
Mhm.
why I always look towards Aaliyah Boston because her game is so simple. She to me almost resembles a Rebecca Lobo when Rebecca was in college, or if you want to go to the men's side, a Tim Duncan, because it's all
Tim's
about
not.
the fundamentals.
Straight
She's not
fundamentals, right?
she's
Fundamentals
not
all day.
yeah, yeah, she's not trying to cross nobody over. She's not trying to hit threes. She know that her game is in the inside, grabbing boards, getting putbacks, and being that defense specialist. And I'm rocking with South Carolina too. I always rock with my girl Dawn Stelly. She's from Philly. I'm from Philly. I've been rocking with her since she was a coach of Temple basketball team. And I seen the path that she was laying down when she was with Temple, and how she took what she did at Temple, brought it to South Carolina, and just refined it, and then she was able to get a bigger pool of players, and she just make magic. Like you said, she has like, it's like in hockey, she has front line. She can just blow the whistle and look down the bench and like, you five in. It's not like one player, two players. It's like, all right, next line go in, sub out the starters, bring in my second line. Okay, guys, third line, we're gonna bring you guys in. And then at the end we can mix and match and just see who flows together. And I could tell like at the end of the season, she was starting to do that. Like, okay, well, let me start playing more of my younger guys from, my freshman class on up, because my seniors are out of here. We want to save them for the tournament. And she was able to mix and match the first years with some of the sophomores, some of the juniors, and she just reloading. So I can't see her taking a step back once everybody else leaves, because the next line is just as loaded as this line, and then who knows who she's gonna bring in the next recruiting class, because it's like a revolving door. It's a machine, and that's why I think she's so successful. And I just praise her all the time, because you see all the hard work that she put in from her own career to her coaching career to now. Like, truthfully, I think Dawn Staley could be like one of the first female head coaches in the NBA, because her knowledge of the game. I could see her coach in the NBA because she's so knowledgeable, and I
Absolutely.
think
We've been
she
talking about that
also,
forever. That's right.
yeah, and I also think that she, demands the respect of the male players, because she is knowledgeable of the game and extremely successful. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything that you said. I don't know if she'll be in the NBA. I don't, for some reason, I don't see her coaching in the NBA. Like, I know she's capable, but
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like her
Hmm.
vision is bigger.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, I know ultimately, our goal, hey, we want to go professional. But I just see the impact that she's making in her program, and everything you said was just spot on. And one thing I really liked that she did was when she got to South Carolina, she dug into the community. She
Yes.
dug into the community, and for her to be able to pack that gym the way that she
Hmm.
does,
Hmm.
that is a phenomenal thing, and it's so uplifting and inspiring to young coaches like myself. You even can say to yourself, hey, look, I can do that, because you can see where Dawn took, and she walked the walk. She went down there and she said, I went to local businesses to make sure they knew who I was, and she made sure they understood what the schedule was and that they were coming out to get their buy-in. Like, all of that is so important in coaching, especially with building a program. So I just think that she really understood what we call as the voice of the customer. She made sure that she understood the voice of the customer, and I think that is one of the biggest reasons too why she's very successful at what she does. And when you talk about the talent, um the thing I see is that it's something that Deion Sanders is doing is too, and to talk a little bit outside of basketball, just in coaching in general, is that really building that relationship, not on just the social media front, but really developing that relationship with the player early. Like, everybody here knows what Dawn Staley's program is about because they show us, they tell us. And I think a lot of coaches, need to ride off of that, just like Dion is doing, Coach Prom is doing, because you're starting to see they're selling their programs through social media. And it's like, why would you not want to play for them? Why would you
Exactly.
not?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
see all this greatness. So everything you said was just spot on. And she's just, I also too, what about her, mailing a piece of her net to every black African American Division I coach? I mean, that's outside the box.
Yeah,
Most coaches aren't
Right.
doing
that's
things.
great. Yeah.
Most
That
coaches aren't
connect.
doing
That's right.
things like that.
Absolutely. The connect.
And
Absolutely.
if you sit down and think about it, it's about touching greatness. If you could
Mm-hmm.
just touch it, and I just think that was an awesome thing for her to do, to put in the forefront of coaches' minds to show that they can do it too.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think about this? Hoping that the WNBA will expand so we can get some more teams on the East Coast. Like, I have always been advocating to have a team here in Philadelphia. which I think is mind blowing that we don't have a WNBA in a city that's a basketball city. Like we are a basketball city with all these great, high school basketball teams, college basketball teams, and to think that we don't have a WNBA team when we had an ABL team, and then when the WNBA formed, you would thought that one of the teams would have been in Philadelphia. So, what's your thoughts of like expansions?
So I'm gonna tell you this. I love the idea of expansion. We need to expand. I mean, if the draft did not tell you how we miss so many people, we miss so many people, and teams are only but so big. So you only the cap with regard to salary cap, you only can expend so much.
Yeah.
So that should have told you that we left some people off. We left some people off, and some people. I mean, you saw the cuts. You
Yes.
saw the cuts,
Mhm.
and what I will say is that all spring and summer, I'm always talking about how the WNBA can get better, and I'm always on Clubhouse advocating and talking in the 94 feet group. I'm always talking about we need to advertise and publicize more. Like, I'll give an example. Right now, every single female athlete for the WNBA that has some type of contract with, for instance, let's say L'Oreal, Puma, Nike, we need to push that. We need to exploit that. We need people to know who are the buyers, who are the people that they're working with. A lot of people don't know that. Like, for instance, I like the way how she's no longer at our she's no longer in the league, but Cambridge, they pushed her Savage
Yes, yeah,
Fenty. We
yes,
knew that she was a part of Fenty Savage, and
Yes.
I just think that women need more representation, and we're doing a lot of great things, but the WNBA is not doing such a great job. Now, right now, I'm starting to see a change. I don't know if you guys have started to see a change,
Mm-hmm.
but I've started seeing more advertisement, more publicity. Another thing I was saying, I felt like Kathy needed some more former WNBA players around her. I really did not know who she had around her, because it felt like to me that the people that were running the league had never been a part of the league or even know much about. That's what it felt like. Know
Yeah.
much about the league. But now
Mhm.
what I'm starting to see is more buy-in. Another thing is we need to get out into the junior WNBA needs to be out into the community to
Yeah.
get
Let's
more
go.
young
Mhm.
girls wearing WNBA jerseys,
Mm-hmm.
supporting the WNBA. I
That's
myself, I'm
right.
taking my high school team this summer and my travel AAU team. I'm taking them out to some games. They will be
Yeah.
going to New York. They will be going to DC, and it's
Yeah.
it's just important.
Salute.
And I think that we as women need to continue to support the WNBA and
Mm-hmm.
show the girls. See, we don't know, and that's why your story is so important. Your story as a female basketball player or a female athlete is so
Mm-hmm.
important. And we have people sitting on their stories, which their stories will help elevate others to want others to say, you know what, I can go somewhere with this.
Mm-hmm.
I can do something with this. And this is why I encourage young coaches, young women, former athletes to tell their story, because some of these young ladies, they got it in them, but they don't know. And it's our journey and our story that's going to help them and encourage them. And I feel as though that the WNBA, that's where they need to fill that gap. We need more Ariel Chambers out there, more Ari Chambers out there,
Yeah.
telling their stories, supporting others. I had went out to go see her speak at women in a game for USA Basketball, because I do work with them. And I
Okay.
went out to USA Basketball, and one thing she said was, when she was in school, there was not enough people telling her friend's story of
Mm-hmm.
her journey of when she was a player. So I'm all for the expansion, but I feel like we need to also refocus in the WNBA and change our structure up a little bit. Get out here into these communities. We need to see more junior WNBA signs out here, more kids signing up to learn about who's Cynthia Cooper, who's Cheryl Swoops,
Yeah.
some and woo, to
Tina
hit on this.
Thompson. Right, right, right.
Yes, and to hit on that, why don't they do a Comets extension team? The Comets should come back. They were
Yes.
the first.
Yeah,
Yes.
They
They
absolutely.
was the
we
first
should
That's right.
dynasty.
exactly. We
Yes.
should have never. That was that honestly that team should have never been broken up.
No. No.
Never, because that was
Not
the
at all.
staple of the organ. That Comets, that jersey,
Yeah, the
that was
Comet
the
jersey.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had Comet T-shirts and everything. And it's like, well, you live in Philadelphia, yeah, but the Houston Comets are the squad. Like they
Was
to
pumping.
me,
That's right.
they
That's right.
yeah, they was
Hmm.
like the Showtime Lakers of their time. Everybody was a Laker fan back then. You live across the country, but you're a Lakers fan. Yeah, I live across the country, and I love me some Tina Thompson. I love when she had that bright red lipstick on out there doing work. I love me some Cheryl Swoops. Listen, when I was younger and in high school, I had a pair of Air Swoops. I begged my dad. I didn't want no Jordans. I didn't want none of it. When Air Swoops came out, oh my God, I searched and searched and I got me a pair because I'm like, when will I ever wear a pair of sneakers that's a women's basketball sneakers? Everybody got Jordans. Well, I got Air Swoops on, so I'm representing that. So I definitely
All
agree
that.
that the Houston Comets should have never got dismantled. Like that
and
was
I
bad.
mean staple. That's that. I mean, every kid I remember wanted to be a Comet. Like
Yeah.
I remember it, and I just think don't even get me started. Kim Perrott, like
Yes.
Yes.
not about
Yes.
her.
Ultimate point guard.
Yes.
Like the
Yes.
ultimate point guard.
Come on, her hair,
Yes.
her ball. Like I have not seen anyone, and correct me if I'm wrong. I have not seen anyone that comes close to her handle yet. The way
No.
Kim Perrott played.
Mm-mm.
I just, oh man, it's just so much history in the WNBA.
Yes.
And even though we haven't, the WNBA hasn't been up for many years, but what I will say is that it's growing.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, and you know what bothers me when people make the comment to say, uh, well, the WNBA they're not making revenue, they're losing $10 million a year. Now, my thing with that, remember when the NBA first started, they wasn't making money.
We talk
They
about it
were.
all the time.
If you go to the history, if it wasn't for Larry Bird
Well,
and
I
Magic,
mean, you know what? Right. Go ahead, coach. Go ahead, coach. Go ahead.
oh,
You right.
I'm sorry, I continue.
Because I come from that era. I come from that era. So when you talk about having to stay up till 11:30 at night to watch the games on tape delay, right? To go from that to where we are now, absolutely. You know what I mean? So again,
Yeah.
I can speak to that era right there where it was kind of crazy. We didn't know what was unless you were at the game physically, you didn't hear about it until the next day.
And if you
Reading the
remember,
newspaper.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and if you remember though, they started to lose money. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson were the ones that kind of helped bring it back, recultivate the league.
Absolutely.
They
Absolutely.
were,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
they were down and they were losing money. So my thing is, sometimes we quickly forget. We're quickly,
Mm.
oh, we want to take, because I mean, all last year and the year before last, I just remember so many people saying so many negative comments about the WNBA, thinking it
Mm-hmm.
was a wash, thinking that, oh, nobody, I even had a guy tell me, I don't watch women's basketball because it's not entertaining, and I was just so taken back by the.
Mm.
But what I will say is that there has been a change, there has been a shift, and the women, we know and we understand what it's going to take. We're there, and now we just got to keep going. We have all these we have the next millennial generation coming in, and they want to be known, they want to be recognized. So if Kathy's not going to move, the players are going to move. Now you got AU, the Unlimited League. Look at
Yeah.
that, in the Unlimited League. You got a lot of players. I love that league. I love watching them play. I love what do y'all think about the Unlimited League?
Well, I haven't seen so
I
much of it right
mean
now.
that. Go ahead, y'all.
Yeah. I was just saying, I just haven't watched so much of it at the moment, and that's on me because I just haven't really had the time. But I'm definitely going to get into that because I've seen like a lot of players who didn't make the cut for the WNBA over there, and they're not they're just as talented or better. It's like, again, like you said, you see like, oh, I remember her and so, like, oh my God, I forgot all about it, and she can still ball. So hopefully maybe we'll get a collab where they'll, how we had the NBA and the ABA. Maybe that may be
Well,
something.
I mean, what I see is I don't see a collab. I see that being its own. But I
Okay.
do, because remember with the unlimited, the players pick the team,
Yeah.
so it's a little
True.
bit different. The rules are a little bit different,
Yeah.
but yeah, and the scoring is a little bit different. But what I will say is it's a start to something different,
Yeah.
because the key is men have options.
Yeah.
Men have options, and
True.
women should have options as well. You can as a male basketball player, you can name so many things. We could sit here and probably name 5 leagues alone that males can be a part of. You
True.
can't do that for women. And having the unlimited league shows us that there are options coming. And
Yeah.
that's the one thing that I feel so great about, because even if we don't have all these expansions, I don't know how the expansions are going to occur. And before we even go into that, let me tell you one thing about them expansion. The owners got to do better. They got to do better. Everyone was mad at New York Liberty, the New York Liberty's owner, because what the New York Liberty's owner want to do? Fly them out, make sure that they have chartered flights. What's wrong
Charters,
with
that's
that?
right.
Yeah. Well,
What's wrong
they're
with that? And
they're professionals.
And
yeah,
he was doing, and they were
yeah,
doing it with their money. It wasn't, you know what I mean? So what was the problem?
and well, that's because everybody doesn't do it, and
Yeah.
in that bargaining
But
agreement,
everybody is the New York Liberty.
yeah,
True.
yeah,
You know what I mean? The
yeah.
league office is in New York, right? So I mean, again, at the end of the day, if you got the money to do it and you want your team to be comfortable, you're gonna do what you need to do to make your team comfortable. You know what I mean? If that means flying them out on charters, if the other teams can't do it, that the owners will step their game up.
Hmm.
And I have mentioned that, like, I feel like the partnership between the NBA and the WNBA is very lopsided. I don't really see a partnership at all, and I think the NBA, they need to really jump in with both feet and really look at the league and support it truthfully. You could do little
Mm-hmm.
commercials with certain NBA stars. That looks great. On paper, but when we dig deep and go behind the scenes, they don't care what the WNBA is doing. So I feel like the owners and the league, they really need to really be a true partner with the WNBA, because with them being a true partner, that will prevent these ladies having to leave the country. We
Right.
see
And
what happened with
right.
with, with,
And
with Brittany
situations,
Griner,
right.
that situation, that unfortunate situation that she had went through, because the fact that she was trying to provide for her family and she had to go elsewhere to play basketball. So
Word.
if we have a true partnership with the league, that won't happen. We won't run into a situation like that ever again. And it
Coach
would just
Mo,
just give us more. You know?
Coach Mo, we definitely appreciate you. Your
Yes.
door is always open anytime, because again, I saw, and this is a social media thing. I'm not really the biggest social media dude in the world, but it works. I saw that. I was inspired by it. I thought that, people needed to hear the story. And again, I kept in touch. I kept following. I kept seeing what you were doing. And the team is starting to win. I was like, okay, they're doing their numbers
Yeah, I
now.
love
You know
that
what I'm
hoodie
saying?
more than the coach. I love the
Absolutely.
hoodie. Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
that's what it is. More than the coach. I see that.
oh
That's
yeah,
what's up.
my shirt, yeah, my hoodie.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you for the
Okay.
opportunity to allow me
Absolutely.
to have some space to talk to you. This it was definitely awesome, and
We
anytime you want to
appreciate
have me
you.
back, I'll be on here to talk to you guys. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We
Absolutely
definitely
love
want to
it.
keep in contact and keep up with how the team is doing. And when you travel to New York, let me know. Because again, we're
I
trying to get to
will.
some of them Liberty games as well.
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Yes.
Stay connected. We
awesome.
appreciate you. That's Coach Mo
Have a good
Boykins,
night,
y'all.
guys. Bye.
You
Yes.
too.
Salute.
Salute.
Thank
Thank you.
you. That was
No
excellent.
doubt. See, it works when you work it,
I
man.
love
We in
it.
the building down in Sports Talk. We do what we do here on Tuesday nights, 8-ish to
Yes.
9-ish. I'm gonna throw that three. We went wild overtime tonight, but it's still all good. It's worth it.
It's
You know what
still
I
all
mean?
good.
Absolutely. It's all good. I'm gonna get into the 3-minute rant right now. My 3-minute rant is and time me out of I'm gonna get into something tonight. You see, I got my Syracuse hoodie on. I'm a Syracuse dude.
Yeah.
Basketball. We go back like Billy Owens, Pearl Washington, you know what I mean? That type of thing. Coach Boeheim. I have to give him some respect and I have to talk about him. Why? Because he was the last of the Mohicans for me. When I first started, like even just kind of like tuning into basketball as a kid, Coach Boeheim was a coach of Syracuse. So again, I think in my own personal opinion, he kind of lasted maybe about 3 or 4 years too long because a lot of things off the court were happening. You know, they had the situation with the guy that, got hit by a car and then, those situations and things going on that were outside of basketball that myself personally thought Jim Boeheim was kind of bigger than. So then when, the reality of life and off the court stuff starts to get closer to your coaching situation, because Coach Boeheim, you got the Krzyzewskis of the world, the Rick Pitino's of the world, those guys, the Roy Williams, even the Dean Smiths. He go through the whole gamut. You name a coach, he was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that how it ended, it could have ended a lot better, but it is what it is. I think that Jim Boeheim, a lot of people, these, sports guys or reporters or whatever, well, we deserve more. No, you didn't. He gave you exactly what he thought you deserved. When the lady asked him, was he going to be, you asking the wrong person. That's what he said. You're not asking the right person. You're asking the wrong person. So again, and then he said he gave his retirement speech on Saturday at the last game of the year, the last home game. He gave his retirement speech. So what point at the game that you were missing? So again, I think, salute to Coach Boeheim, 47 years, man. That's, a lifetime. A lot of these coaches come and go. A lot of them still try to hang around. You know what I mean? But Coach Boeheim, got me one. He was in a couple of them, but he got me one. Shout out to Carmelo. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for Keith Smart, we would have two. You know what I mean? And again, he's been the coach of a lot of classic basketball. That's 6 overtime game at the Garden, right? You know what I mean? So again, Jim Boeheim is Syracuse basketball. And I just wanted to, acknowledge him and respect him for, as the coach that he is and the advisor and his presence at Syracuse University is going to mean a lot. So now I spoke on that. Salute to Adrian Autry. I watched him play for Coach Boeheim, right? Calling shots, point guard, doing what he do. Now he's getting ready to run the show. I just hope that, it could continue on. Syracuse is Syracuse. They're going to do their thing. And being in the ACC now, that's a bigger fish to fry. You know what I mean?
Tougher competition, tough road.
Absolutely. So again, I hope that Adrian Autry, does his thing. And I don't know if he's going to last 47 years. You know what I mean? But again, I think he's the guy. He's been prepping for this role, assistant head coach, and doing some things. So he knows what's going on with Syracuse basketball. He's not an outsider, and that's another thing I like about how we transition from Coach Boeheim to Coach Autry. You know what I mean? It's not an outsider. You got somebody that's been in the mix. How much time I got, Yada?
You know cutting it real close.
Okay, so that's the 3-minute rant.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So I just wanted to say that. Salute to Coach Mo Boykins. Salute to everybody who taps in. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. All right. The support offering for Down in Sports Talk, because we still trying to get to Yankee Stadium. We're still trying to get to Citizens Bank and all that good stuff. So make sure you, if you like us, if you like what we talk about, we don't do a lot of analytics. We don't do a lot of, wild stuff, jumping out the window and doing all this histrionics. We don't have to do that. We get right to the point. And me and my co-D right there, we're in the bill. You see how she hold me down, right? You know what I mean? Salute to you, Yada. You know what I mean? Every time. And so, again, this is Down in Sports Talk, Tuesday nights, 8-ish to 9-ish. And we're about to get up out of here, man. Salute to y'all. We'll see y'all next week. I'm gonna finish my brackets, right? But I'm gonna do that behind this. Okay, let me do it right now since y'all was like, okay. Okay, I got what was that? Okay, I got Virginia, Charleston College over San Diego State. I had Virginia over Furman. I got Creighton over North Carolina State. I got Baylor over UCSB. I got Utah State over Missouri. That's another upset. That's a 10-7 matchup.
10-7.
I got Arizona over Princeton. All right. Mm-hmm. Then in the next region, I got Purdue over whoever they're going to play that first 4 matchup between FDU and Texas Southern. Whoever wins that game sees Purdue. Then I got Memphis over Florida Atlantic. I got Oral Roberts over Duke. That's another 5-12 matchup.
That's a big upset right there. But
I got Oral Roberts over Duke. I got Tennessee over Louisiana. I got Kentucky over Providence. I got Kansas State over Montana State. I got Tom Izzo and Michigan State beating USC. And I got Marquette over Vermont. Now we move to the other side of the bracket. We have Houston over Northern Kentucky. All right. We got Auburn over Iowa. We got Miami over Drake. I can't stand Drake. We got Indiana losing to Kent State. That's a 4-13 matchup.
4-13.
Okay. I got Iowa State over whoever wins tonight between Mississippi State and Pittsburgh. That's the first 4 matchup is on right now. I got Xavier over Kennesaw State. I got Texas A&M over Penn State. I got Texas over Colgate. All right. Now we go to the next region. We got Kansas over Howard. I'm sorry, Dev. I'm sorry. Kansas over Howard. I got Arkansas losing to Illinois. That's an 8-9 matchup. I got St. Mary's over VCU. I got another 4-13 upset. Iona, Rick Pitino, and his boys over UConn. Right? I got TCU winning their first matchup. I got Gonzaga defeating Grand Canyon. I got Western over Boise State, and I got UCLA over North Carolina Asheville. So those are the first round matchups. Make sure you watch the NCAA tournament. We got the first 4 for the ladies start tomorrow night. And basically that. Yada Bear, don't go nowhere. That's my Cody right there. We're going to turn her into a star yet, man. Recognize that. That's the face right there. Yada Bear in the building. Down in Sports Talk, man. Great show tonight. Thank you to everybody, man. Hit that like and subscribe button. You already know what it means. We're about to slide out, and we got some more sports to talk. We'll catch up to y'all next week. We out.
Peace.
Peace.